Is there something like everybody in your industry should like stop doing or start doing?
One thing that I wish that our industry would do is have some sort of a just some sort of a standard that would keep,
Mm.
like for even when I was starting, a standard for what it would take to start a school, some sort of a not government related, but just something that we all would have to a standard that we would all have to maintain because anyone, as long as you train, you can open a school. And I've seen a lot of really really good instructors, but I've seen a lot of really not so great instructors sneak
No.
in, and so it would be nice to see some sort of a, if you want to be a martial arts school owner, these are the requirements that you should have.
Yeah, like a test within
Being
itself.
yeah, and especially dealing with kids, because I've seen a lot of it. People open up a karate school, they've only ever taught adults, so then they get kids, and sometimes they're not the best with kids, or vice versa. So they only deal with kids and they're not very good with adults, and that kind of doesn't go well. And then people, get a bad taste in their mouth for martial arts because well, it's like, well, we're not all the same on that, which we could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you were going to write a
I think
book,
especially if you're sorry, if I think if you're going to be teaching kids, I
yeah.
think you should have some sort of a base standard for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm with anything in general. I feel like you should you should definitely take a patience test. That's for sure.
Yeah,
You
right?
have a short fuse. We probably
Yeah.
should not work with anybody under 10. Do not.
Yeah. Let's spend a little more time on that aspect before dealing with a kid.
Even some adults. I feel like there's plenty of times where I'm dealing with a grown adult. And I'm like, I was not prepared for the amount of patience I needed for this activity.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. I like that, a patience test. That'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they don't really teach common sense anymore either, so that's also hard.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were
Wish
going
there
to
was
write a
a
book
class for them.
about like all of this stuff or any of it, really, like what do you feel like would be the highlight or what would it be about?
If I were to write it, well, it's funny because actually we were kind of talking about starting to write a book.
Cool.
Um, yeah, I was going to try and figure out a way to incorporate some of the training methods, stretching, but also some of the stuff that I've gotten a chance to learn that I wish I would have known coming up, like, that would have protected my knees and ankles a little bit more than what I did. Just some do's and don'ts, or learning from the PTA program why our body works the way that it works, or the kinesiology class, and then incorporating that into the martial arts side with here's why it works, and here's how you can make it work better.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.